Hello guys, and welcome once again to yet another Prixel Derp. Wow, I almost made a mistake and said that correctly. Prixel Derp review. And this is, of course, once again, your host, Sledge Douglas, wondering what happened to his life to make him sit in front of a computer and review video games. Oh, so hey, Astrosmash for the Intellivision. Astrosmash was, of course, a first-party game created by Mattel Electronics, the same creators of the Intellivision console itself. And as you can see on your screen, it's fairly simple, at least at first. You know, there's no complicated techniques to it or anything. Asteroids fall down, you shoot. Simple as that. Of course, there is actually a little more than that. You see, if you shoot some of the bigger asteroids, they split off into two pieces, making them even more dangerous. If pieces hit the ground, they basically decrease your score as you're trying to rack up points. You got to watch out because those rocks, as they hit the ground, will actually decrease your score. And also, there's a little hyperspace function, which I usually never use. Basically, it allows you to escape imminent danger by teleporting to a random spot on the screen. Like I said, I rarely ever use it because, quite honestly, you could also teleport yourself into some real bad situations. And of course, just like the last game I reviewed, Haunted Hill for the Commodore 64, watch it as soon as this is done. It's an arcade-style game with the point is, well, getting the most points. Which, quite frankly, those are some of my favorite kind of games. I really miss the days of just getting the high score and comparing your score to other people. It really was a lot of fun. But whatever. People got their Halos and their Calls of Duties and whatnot. Whatever. Whatever you like, that's fine, I guess. Now, I'm not going to go much into the really insane technical details. For that kind of stuff, such as what is what score, you could check the associated page in the links below. To me, what's most interesting about this game is, number one, the personal connection that I have with it, and I'll get to that a little bit later on. But also, the history of this game is kind of interesting as well. You see, this was created by a man named John P. Stohl, and was originally intended to be an Asteroids clone. You can kind of see that in the title, Astrosmash. Though, strangely enough, when it was an Asteroids clone, it was going to be called Meteor. Whatever. In any case, due to Atari's over-litigiousness, they got a little shaky in their boots and they decided to change the name and the concept to something a little different, like what we see here on the screen. However, they didn't have time to completely excise the old code. So, a little funny trick here, and I've only rarely been able to actually succeed in this, is that if you keep pressing reset, you may be able to enable a glitch which allows you to play the original Asteroids clone. And in fact, that very same Mr. Stohl had a number of hints in how to succeed at his game. His hints were as follows. Don't get hit. Shoot anything that moves. And don't take any risks unless you have to. Yep, life lessons to be sure. Now, this game was Intellivision's second pack-in, replacing Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack. You remember those days? The days of pack-ins, you know, Super Mario Brothers / Duck Hunt, Sonic the Hedgehog or Altered Beast or something like that. Super Mario World for the SNES. What the fuck happened? Why aren't there any more pack-ins? For fuck's sake, you buy a console, the least they could do is throw in a little free game. Sorry about that. Sometimes the stuff just gets to me. Sometimes the wrong stuff gets to me. Now, of course, being a successful title, there were a number of ports made, such as the Atari 2600 version titled Astro Blast under their M Network label. There was also a version for their computer system, the ECS, called Melody Blaster. And there was an adult version, but that was never released as far as I know. It was an in-house thing. Maybe there's a ROM of it out there floating on the internets or something. I don't know. I never bothered to find out. Now, what about that personal connection I mentioned a while back? Well, here's a very interesting tidbit, and it's kind of a personal tidbit. Besides simply the fact that it is one of my favorite games, it's one of my most played games. Ever since I was a little kid, I've played this game. Like, ever since, well, I think I'd have to say, not as early as some games, so I'd have to say about maybe since I was 4 years old, I've played this game at least once, like every year. And even besides the fact that recently I reached a milestone in getting over 60,000 points, which, needless to say, is nothing compared to some real hardcore Astrosmash players in 1981 who got high enough scores to be able to fuck up the score counter. No, this is actually even more personal than that. You see, this game, my father playing this game, brought upon the premature labor that brought my brother into the world. Yes, this game is partially responsible for the birth of my younger brother. Suck on that one. Yeah, apparently, after a certain point, the falling of the asteroids and the screens changing color got so intense that I guess, according to my mother, it created kind of a panic reaction and the biology started happening. So yeah, there you go. Personal story that is very, very deeply connected to this game. Now, of course, what you've all come here to see. Would I recommend this game? What, did you hear the review? Abso-fucking-lutely. Sure, you gotta just try to shoot things until you get a high score, but this game is addicting. It is ridiculously addicting. Now, as I mentioned previously, it speeds up the better you get at it. The more points you accumulate, the harder the game becomes, basically, which should be standard procedure. But there's a very interesting thing. Remember, before in the review I mentioned that if those asteroids hit the ground, you lose points? Well, that is, of course, true. If too many asteroids hit the ground, you lose points, and if you lose enough points, the game will slow down. It'll become easier. You don't have to lose a crazy amount of points for that to happen, but the game notices when you suck at it. And it kind of caters itself around that. But if you're whipping ass, the game will whip your ass right back. So yeah, give this game a shot. There are, of course, in the wake of all these secondhand video game places, I'm sure it's pretty easy to pick up a copy. It was a pretty popular game. Or you could, of course, pick up one of the many collections that this game was in, including the Lids collection for PC, PS2, Xbox. The list goes on. There's tons of ways to be able to enjoy this game. So basically what I'm saying is, you have no excuse. Check this game out. You'll be doing yourself a huge favor. This is Chris Sledge Douglas for Prixel Derp, signing out. See you next time. And don't forget to, of course, subscribe and watch some more of our videos as we come out with more and more and more as the weeks go on and on. Thank you very much. See you next time.